all of us in here have been repeat offenders. You heard what I said. We all have been repeat offenders. Acts chapter 16, verse 16 to 40 says, Acts chapter 16, verse 16 to 40 says, one day, on our way to the place of prayer, a slave girl ran into us. She was a psychic, and with her fortune telling made a lot of money for the people who owned her. She started following Paul around, calling everyone attention to us by yelling out, these men are working for the Most High God. They are laying out the road of salvation for you. She did this for a number of days until Paul finally got fed up. And he turned and he commanded that spirit that possessed her. He said, out, come out in the name of Jesus. And it got out of her. And it was gone just like that. But when her owners saw that his lucrative little business was suddenly bankrupt, he didn't have no more change, they went after Paul and Silas. And they roughed them up and dragged them into the market square. And then the police arrested them and pulled them into a court with accusation. These men are disturbing the peace, they said. Dangerous Jews. By this time, the crowd had turned into a restless mob, and this crowd was out to kill Paul and Silas. Then the judge went along with the mob. You know how the judge sometimes, when a person is innocent, the judge sometimes said, no, you guilty. It said Paul and Silas, they ripped off their clothes and they publicly beat them down. They beat them down. And after beating them black and blue, they threw them into jail. Like it's bad enough you beat somebody down, then after that you throw them in jail? Telling the jail keeper to put them on a heavy guard so there will be no chance of escape. And the jail keeper did exactly what they told him to do. And they did not put him in population. They put Paul and Silas in a maximum security cell. That means that they are in this cell, 18, 19, 20 some hours a day, and they can only go out of that cell for about an hour. How would you want to be locked up in a cell that long without no communication or contact with people around you? That's a very hard feeling, right? Paul went to jail a number of times for preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. But in today's society, y'all, if Paul lived in today's society with us, he will be called a repeat offender. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, there are currently 2.3 million people incarcerated in prison and jail across America. Approximately 30,000 of those inmates are incarcerated in the state of Alabama. Nationally, 90% of the offenders in jail today will be released and then return to their community from which they came. Statistics shows that 30% of adults offenders released from state prison are rearrested within 6 months of their release. How many of you or someone you know have been in jail, they got out, and then they was back in jail within 6 months? How many of you know people that had been saved and you know they were saved, and all of a sudden they ain't saved no more? How many of you have incarcerated other people in your mind? You have incarcerated them by the way you act towards them and by the way that you treat them. You used to be nice to them. You used to be kind to them. You used to, especially in marriage, you used to talk love to each other, lovey-dovey, kissy-wissy, what's it was. But now all of a sudden you hate that person. Or you used to be cool with her or him, and then all of a sudden, because they ain't doing what you want them to do, they ain't saying what you want them to say, now all of a sudden in your mind, you have incarcerated them. You don't want to fool with them anymore.